Right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let us all begin our session today with Kitab Al-Fatiha. Okay, without further ado, today we are here for Artificial General Intelligence, AGI Preparedness for ASEAN, AI Risks, Governance, Emerging Opportunities, and Role of Universities. We have here today our speaker, Mr. Zulkit Chan, and also our moderator, Professor Datuk Norbik. Without further ado, I will pass the session to our moderator, Prof. Norbik, to begin.
Thank you very much, Shari. Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, everybody, especially to our speaker, TK, Zulkit. TK, make yourself very relaxed and very comfortable, please. Okay, first and foremost, I'd like to welcome everyone. I think I expect, and I think this will be a very interesting sharing of knowledge and experience. Do we have people online as well, as of now? Ada? Or are they coming in slowly as we progress, I suppose? Okay, never mind. Before I invite TK or Zulkit, I call him just TK, I'd like to share some info about him, which I think is really, really impressive. So that knowing his background, you can also probably craft question as we go along. Okay. Zulkit Jan, by the way, his father is also a close friend of mine. I was hoping that his dad would also be here. And his dad is a professor, visiting professor to UKM. A bit of promo of his dad. Anyway, I don't want to steal the thunder from the Zulkit himself. Okay, Zulkit is actually advisor. SubhanAllah, he is an advisor to many, many international universities. And when I heard about him from his father, I really told him that I really need him to come to IIUM to share his experience and so on. So he has been a key advisor to at least 24, mashallah, important and really top universities in the world. He is an executive advisor to Stanford's AI Alignment, Berkeley's AI Safety Student Initiative, and Caltech, California Technology AI Alignment Group. And these university groups accelerate the development of ambitious students in technical AI alignment research, AI policy, and international governance, AI security, and field building work to mitigate the catastrophic risks posed by the intelligent AI for the benefit of humanity. These topics alone and these areas alone are really relevant to us in this university. The issue of risk, governance, and how we need to mitigate them for the benefit of humanity. Other than that, he also advising to so many universities apart from the US, in Singapore, NUS, and Nanyang, in France, in Canada. My goodness, you have a very impressive CV. Yale and Purdue, Boston, these are top universities in the US. These are easily top 30 computer science departments in the university and so on. Apart from that, TK is also involved in the industry. He has been involved with many industry partners, particularly in AI safety programs. And I think it's also shown on the slide there, at a very young age, during his high school, he represented Malaysia in the International Philosophy Olympiad. I didn't know that there is Philosophy Olympiad. We all knew that Mathematical Olympiad. Oh, there is now Philosophy Olympiad. He represented Malaysia, and after that he founded like 16 clubs where he studied philosophy, comparative literature, and cognitive science. In Malaysia, TK has been a speaker at National AI Office under the JDN in the Kementerian Digital. And from the poster that we distributed, he also appeared in the BFM radio. So my goodness, you have a very impressive CV, TK.
Thank you, Prof.
And on that note, I really am very glad to welcome you. Like I said from the start, let's make this session very casual and very informative, and so that we can share as much knowledge and experience as you have.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Please, TK.
Sure, I'll take it off then. Thank you, Prof.
Thank
I
you.
actually just came back from speaking to U Chicago and students from Stanford, Berkeley, and Caltech just like the past 2 weekends. So I'm coughing a bit because it was quite cold in the US and a bit jet lagged. I want to start also. Maybe someone wise here can tell me where I should face. Because I see a cluster crowd here. I see some people there. I know I'm supposed to face the front because
This guy are here because the camera is
okay. Oh, okay. So
there's so many people in
okay,
the room.
okay. So maybe I'll default to okay. I'll default face to the front, just so the camera's on me, and then I'm gonna from time to time look to the back.
No problem.
Okay, and I know that this is the main default mic. Okay, so I want to start here with top 3 audience engagement questions. One, feel free to Google search this, okay? The first question is, can someone shout out the definition of AGI? Feel free to Google search this. How is AGI different from AI? Yeah, feel free, a brave soul, feel free to shout that out. Oh, I'm not moving on until someone. I'm joking.
There is a difference because there's the word generative.
Yes, the word general, artificial general intelligence. Yeah. Okay. That's okay. I'll try answering it for first time. So the AGI means you can think of it as the AI matching the best of humanity in say 99 ways. Matching the best of humanity in 99 ways. Now, my second question is, can someone tell me what ASI means? Artificial super intelligent being. Yeah, feel free to shout out. I'll give it 10 seconds. It's okay. I understand it's a shy crowd. So ASI here means exceeding the best of humanity in not just 100 ways, but every way. So AGI means matching the best of humanity in say, I'm just pulling a number, 99 ways. ASI means exceeding the best of humanity in every way. The third question is, can someone shout out the 2 American companies, the 2 frontier AI labs that have officially partnered with the US government military? 2 companies. You probably recognize them. You probably have them on your laptop. What OpenAI? You got it right, Prof. One more. Can someone shout it out? What company? Microsoft? No, not quite. But well, Microsoft owns OpenAI for 9%. So yeah, maybe they are Kaludo. Yeah, name me one more. Who's Microsoft's competitor? Oh, so close. Not Anthropic. They're so close. No, not NVIDIA. It starts with a G.
Famous one.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so good job. So yes, Google and OpenAI have officially announced partnerships with the US military. In fact, Google dropped their "do no evil" phrase 2 months ago because they wanted to enter military. Yeah. So let's start here. Yes, military. And we're going to talk about it soon. I want to start here, folks. What do the world's most technical and accomplished computer scientists, like Turing Award winner Dr. Yoshua Bengio with an H index of 217, and the Nobel Prize Physics winner in 2024, Dr. Geoffrey Hinton, what do they believe about AI? So for context for folks, each index of 217 means that the last 217 computer science papers he produced, each paper was cited at least 217 times. He is literally, if you go Google search like Google Scholar, computer science, he is the most cited computer scientist in the world. Guess who's second to him? Geoffrey Hinton at 167. What do the most decorated, most technical people in computer science belief about AI. They believe that the world needs to work on extinction risks from AGI. I'm going to repeat this: extinction risk from AGI. Not, maybe deep fake or social media bias, all the way to extinction, as in 8 billion people dying because we created an AGI. I'm gonna take my time to explain what it means. I know it's a bit shocker, but I just want you to sink in there. So I have some key takeaways here. If you forget everything I'm going to present today, just remember these 3 points, these 3 premises. 1, AI is a really, really big deal. Second, AI is improving really, really fast. And third, AI is actually very, very dangerous. Please come on. So let me unpack the first premise. AI is a really, really big deal because of AGI and ASI. When you have an entity that can run 24/7, that matches the best of humanity in almost every possible way, you have a room full of the world's world-class best doctor, best lawyer, best professor, best researcher in the same entity for 200 ringgit per month. So AI is going to be a really, really big deal. Second, AI is improving really, really fast. Prof. Norvik, I'm gonna ask you to, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Try picturing for me a 3-sided polygon. So a triangle. Picture a triangle for me. Okay, great. That was easy. Now picture for me a 1,000-sided polygon. That was easy. Okay, I'm sure that's easy. Okay, now great, Prof. Next, picture me a 10 million-sided polygon in your head. Okay. So what I'm going to bet is that when Prof. Norvik is trying to think of a 1,000-sided polygon and a 10 million-sided polygon, it feels the same. It feels the same to think of big, big numbers. And that is why our human monkey brains suck at thinking about big numbers. And this is going to be a recurring story in my presentation. We suck at comprehending just how big the numbers we're dealing with when it comes to AI as a field. That because we can't perceive the scope, we just like throw our hands away and hand wave it to the universe. So be scope sensitive. When I say a 10,000 IQ being, I do mean that it is 100 times, 2 orders of magnitude higher, smarter than Einstein with like 160 IQ or something. So third one, AI is really, really dangerous. So there's an incredibly wide spectrum of risk from AI beyond just algorithmic bias. And I'm going to show you my presentation soon. And this is why I do what I do. So the 3 upfront conclusions I have for today's talk are these. When you combine these 3 premises, that AI is a really, really big deal, that AI is improving really, really fast, and that AI is actually very, very dangerous, you get these 3 conclusions. So the first conclusion is that do accept that AI will permeate everything. AI times surveillance, AI mash up with factory farming, AI mash up with nanomaterial research, AI mix up with power grids, when you outsource it to manage your power grids, automating deep physics, etc. So it's going to permeate everything. Make no mistake. Second, AI is improving really, really fast, but solutions to safety isn't. A recurring story I'm going to keep telling over and over again is we are building the most powerful jet engine with no seatbelts invented. No steering wheel, no seatbelts, no brake pads, and no airbags. That is the visual, that's the accurate. This is not fear-mongering. This is just telling you the accurate picture of what's actually going on with AI, frontier AI development. So the third one is AI will by default be really, really dangerous. I just want you to think about 2 stories of failure here. You have malicious actors running amok in society, and you have the tragedy of the commons. So malicious actors here just means someone who is a slightly unhinged individual in society who wants to create the next pandemic, the next pathogen, the next COVID, because maybe they want money, maybe they want fame. So this, during Chinese New Year, a lot of uncles, aunties ask me, "Hey Zhu, you work in AI safety, Hey, what do you think of DeepSeek?" And I'm like, "Uncle, auntie, let me tell you." On one hand, you have the next Malaysian having a chance to be the next billionaire, building an AI wrapper, forking a source code on GitHub, and just build an AI application on it. On the other hand, so does the world's best cyber criminals and terrorist gangs. They also have access to an O1 level model with DeepSeek, and it's free. DeepSeek basically handed on a silver platter the world's best cyber criminals and terrorists. Please have a very powerful AI model to do what you want. That basically happened. So that's malicious actors. And tragedy of commons here refers to an economic concept where if you took an Econ 101 class, it just means that based on for-profit seeking incentive structures, there will be an arms race going on. The same way there's a for-profit incentive structure for fishermen to fight other fishermen to fish the most fish out of the sea, the same thing is going to happen with AI. The AI companies, there's going to be a arms race between the top 5 AI companies in a 5 by 5 mile radius in San Francisco. I'm going to repeat this because it shocks you when I say that. There's the only AI companies that will ever matter in this whole story, in this whole decade, is the top 5 AGI labs in the 5 by 5 mile radius in San Francisco. Google, DeepMind, Anthropic, OpenAI, and also like make the mistake. Google invested in Anthropic and OpenAI. Sorry, Google. Amazon invested in Anthropic. Microsoft invested in OpenAI. So it's all tangled up. It's all tangled up to money and power. Power to attract talents, to convince a Stanford, MIT, Harvard to drop out for $500,000 before stock options. Only those labs have the money power and the talent density to do that. So anyways, so there's an arms race between the 5 companies, and there's going to be an arms race between US and China as well, which is a big part of the story. So don't be distracted by the short-term gains. And I'm gonna be here. Actually, I'll say this in passing. Regardless of the specifics, the future will be radically different. The future advances fast, in a way that the only way I can plot diagrams is in a log scale. So in exponentials. So 100 years ago, computers used punch cards, and right now, to this crowd, you're part of a rare generation where life is substantially different from your grandparents. Not 2x, not 5x different, but 1,000x different. So explain to me like I'm 5, what is AI safety? So I want you to think about this quadrant: short-term gains, short-term risk, long-term gains. What my work is in, AI safety, is working on the long-term risk to unlock the long-term gains in that very specific sequence. Long-term risk to unlock the long-term gains. Why not work on short-term gains? I'm not going to be the 1,000 next clown talking to you about why you need Gen AI in your office. I'm not going to be that. That's like saturated. And not enough people is doing that. That's okay. Short-term risk, why is that not my focus? Because I think that it's orders of magnitude, as in zeros, smaller than longer-term risk. 100 times, 1,000 times smaller than the long-term risk. So here's a little calibration exercise. This is the full spectrum of risk from advanced AI that I want imprinted in people. So on the very far left, we have algorithmic bias, hyper-addictive social media content, unwatermarked art. These are all big topics right now happening, but I argue that it is orders of magnitude less than the upcoming risk towards the right of the spectrum. So if I plot my right spectrum to be ending at extinction from AGI, and on the very far left, it's algorithmic bias, there's a huge spectrum of risk in between that has not been addressed. My little rally pitch here is like, we should have been AI ready yesterday. We need to be AGI ready now. You know, it's funny how we are talking about digital privacy rights 2 or 3 years after the frontier labs have already stolen the world's art. Think about it for a moment. How do you think OpenAI makes Studio Ghibli images from your O4 Mini? Right? They already stole the world's art before they even asked for permission. The whole Silicon Valley, the very brutal reality of moving fast and breaking things. They stole the world's art. 3 years later, governments then only talk about we should watermark the art to protect the originality of the artists. Maybe we should have digital privacy rights so that 90% of the dark data private data doesn't get floated in the training runs. It's too late. It's an afterthought. It's too late. The same story we had in Malaysia with Cybersecurity Act. It took a WannaCry for Cybersecurity Act to be actually having teeth and actually be enforced. And I want to avoid that story here. So on the very far left, we have algorithmic bias. On the very far left, we have algorithmic bias, hyper-addictive social media content. Let's keep going up the scale. I think I'm going to split the graph in the middle, which is sudden massive unemployment, wide-scale AI-enabled blackmailing. This is where I'm going to split the graph. This is like smacked in the middle between like worrying about extinction from AGI to like the softer versions of AI risk. I worry that I'm going to be having a conversation like 4 years down the road with Malaysian ministers. I worry that, hey, in 4 years, I'm going to sit across a minister and telling him that maybe 75% of your voters will be out of a job next year. What's your plan here? They can't feed their kids because AI has automated and displaced so much workforce. So I fear those conversations that I'm going to have. And we're already seeing wide-scale AI-enabled blackmailing that already happened. I'm going to show a slide soon where a Singaporean company, very white-collar, like Harvard-educated white-collar person, CEO, finance director, got scammed as well, got blackmailed because someone impersonated a Zoom call of the CEO's voice, and then they infiltrated. So that's already like happening. And that's with yesterday's technology. Now, the risk that I really want to focus on is AI-enabled CBRN risk, which is chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear risk. Imagine what the world's best hackers can, with enough incentive and motive, can do to accelerate chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear risk. AI-enabled militarization is another threat model, even if it's accidental. The Terminator situation, folks, is unfortunately unfolding here. And the third one is gradual loss of control, which means that over time, humanity will willingly surrender control to AI because of efficiency gains, productivity gains, and bottom line dollar costs. Gradually, I'll outsource AI to manage the power grid. Why hire 20 people, need to pay SOXO, PTO, and need to manage, and they're feeling some more. Don't need AI, just AI lah. AI manage the TNB. Right? Over time, gradually, we'll predictably see willing surrender of control in critical power infrastructures. That's why I started the story with AI-enabled militarization, because that's just what happened between Google and DeepMind, and Google and OpenAI with partnering with the American government. And then on the very far right end, again, it's the most technical people in the world that are sounding the alarm about extinction from AGI. Now let's go why he thinks about it that. So we might be thinking, why all this like premises? Where did it come from, Zoo? So the first premise here is AI is a really, really big deal. And here's why. Because of intelligence. Intelligence is actually a very distinguishing thing about humans. And this is why as well. There's never been a historical case where a more intelligent being is at the mercy of a less intelligent being. I'm going to say that again. There's never been a historical case where a more intelligent being is at the mercy of a less intelligent being, except maybe babies, because when they cry in the plane, then the mom has to automatically, okay, shh, it's okay, baby, But that's the only case I can think of. Most of the time, chimpanzees share 99.9% of genetic information with humans. But why is one in cages and at the mercy of entire species, and the other is flourishing at 8 billion population? Intelligence. That is what a few IQ point difference can make. Now imagine what happens when you have 100 times more intelligent being. With intelligence, we landed man on the moon in the 60s. We discovered hydrogen wave functions. We created magnificent architecture. This is what intelligence can do. Oh, sorry. And then there's this one. So, okay, you might be wondering here. Let's address an elephant in the room. Zoo. Read TechCrunch. I'm a smart guy person. Industrial revolutions have often created more jobs. Why is this any different? So, what happened in the Industrial Revolution and multiple revolutions were automating labor, but never intelligence. Even in the internet revolution, instead of sending doves, I can just send you a WhatsApp message at the speed of light, as long as I have a Wi-Fi connection. It automates labor. There's never been a situation where we automate intelligence. But this time, we're automating the thing that gave us the revolutions. Intelligence. So I'm a techno optimist as well. I believe that if we build a very powerful AI or like an AGI, it can solve climate change, it can cure cancer, it can discover nanomaterial research that will change industry, blah blah blah. I believe in that as well. However, I think that our path to building AGI is an exception here, not the norm. This is an outlier case, an outlier technology. And if you know anything about power laws, 80-20 rules, if you know about outlier distributions and you know your stats class, this is a big deal. So what machines did to horses is what AGI is going to do to humans. Next premise, AI is improving very, very fast. Also, feel free to keep all your questions in your head, write it down in the paper, and then we're going to tackle them through in the Q&A. I'm really excited to chat with you all on a one-on-one setting. So AI is improving very fast. Take note of hardware advancements and scaling laws. Look at the various benchmarks such as OpenAI's O3. So here's an analogy. If cars evolved at the rate of computing, and the 1982 Mustang has 88 horsepower, so equate horsepower with computation, what is the equivalent horsepower of a 2025 Mustang? Again, if horsepower equals computation, what's the equivalent have we achieved? I'm going to give it 10 seconds. Yeah, feel free to shout out answers if you're confident about this. Is it 2x? Is it 20x? Is it 200x? I'm sensing the urgency of the crowd. 7.5 million x. All right, I'm going to reveal the answer. I'm going to record the reactions here. So the right answer is 7.5 million times. Yes, seriously. So recall the big number situation I talked about. There's a reason why we couldn't take these ideas seriously, because these big numbers escape us. And we don't have to have it that way. So the public tend to confuse what AI can do versus what it potentially can do. The man on the street really needs to understand that if we keep scaling this up, that there will be more emerging capabilities. An intelligence explosion, a sudden cascade. Emerging capabilities just means a combination of intelligent capabilities that combine, bring up surprising innovations or surprising creations or behaviors that we couldn't predict. When it can read, when it can write, when it can think like a researcher, you combine that, you get emergent behaviors. And we cannot predict this. So one story here that needs to be reminded is all these, no matter how smart the AI models you hear about, they are all fundamentally black boxes thrown H100s. You're just throwing H100 GPU chips, which is NVIDIA's most powerful chip, other than Blackwell. They are fundamentally just black boxes. And let me go back to the O3 slide here. So I want y'all to pay attention to O3's benchmark, for example. So O3 was a model announced by OpenAI during 12th day of Christmas last year, December. So 12th day of Christmas was an event, you can Google this up, where OpenAI, every day leading up towards Christmas, they released a model that shook the world. One of them was O3. O3 is amazing because it blew the socks off mathematicians. There was a frontier, there's a benchmark called Frontier Math, which my friends actually made that. It's basically the hardest math exam in the world. So hard that the average math question in the Frontier Math bench would take a PhD level person 12 hours to make 0.2% progress. It's that difficult. It's so difficult that a 2006 Fields medalist, Timothy Gowers, actually publicly stated, saying that, wow, the math questions are so hard, I don't even know where to begin. Fields medal is like the Nobel Prize in math. Yeah. So guess what? O3 scored. Sorry, this is the kicker. O3 scored 25% compared to 0.2%. So that's at least a 25x. So that happened in December before Q4 ended. So that's just O3's benchmark. And it's amazing how quickly we got here. 2 years ago, before O3, the best model was just at elementary school math. 2 plus 2 equals 5. They will get that wrong. I know it's 2 plus 2 equals 4, but I'm just illustrating. 2 years ago, that was the capability of the best model. They'll get a 2 plus 2 equals 5 wrong problem. 2 years later, because you throw a lot of like smart engineers from the top universities, you throw a lot of money, you're Silicon Valley darling, you can raise big size checks anytime. You have access to lots of like government buy-in, etc. You get this. You get O3 that blew benchmark 25 times than humans. Okay, so here's a Q2 update, sort of, because so in March 2025, last month, we saw the first fully AI generated paper accepted to iClear 2025. Also, iClear is happening now in Singapore. It's a top international machine learning conference, and we are academics here. I'm seeing a room full of academics. If you know the big deal of you having a paper accepted by a conference. So not only did it pass the peer review threshold, it was ranked top 45% of all workshop submissions. So that was a fully AI generated paper on AI research. It's by Sakana. The second one is April 25, just start of this month. We saw the first, a couple of first cases of malicious actors using AI deepfakes to blackmail the Singaporean finance director $500,000. So, and what happened was the scammers, very motivated hackers, used Zoom with the scammers, impersonating officials in the firm, including a CEO. And this is the year of agents. If you know anything about that, so an agent can book your flight ticket without further instruction. It can also help you research nanomaterials design and come up with your next research agenda and come up with your next paper idea. And you can have it all running in parallel as long as you have enough like RTX 5080 or something. So the third one will happen not recently, but 4 months ago. Alignment faking paper, which exists in frontier models. So alignment faking means that when an AI model selectively modifies its behavior to please evaluators, it's called something called Goodhart's law. So feel free to look this up, Goodhart. When a target becomes the measure, when a measure becomes the target, the measure ceases to be a good. The target ceases to be a good measure. I think I'm butchering that sentence, but Goodhart's law exists. That is why it's very hard to train an AI model to do the thing that we want it to do, because it's going to keep pleasing us. So alignment faking happened empirically. Yes, so among the top experts, there are still like some disagreements of like the technicalities, but the broad stroke idea is that alignment faking can exist among the very top models by Anthropic or even OpenAI. Okay, so there are some projections from my friend. His name's Romeo. He runs Harvard's AI Safety University Group. He made some napkin math. I love napkin math for my citations. This one good metric to get a sense of how quickly AI is improving is the number of H100 chips floating around the world. So for context for people, NVIDIA's most powerful chip H100 is the main AI chip used to train the frontier models that you see. And right now, there's roughly 6.5 million floating around the world. Some are smuggled to China through Malaysia and Singapore, unfortunately, because we have loose export controls. But one figure to pay attention here is 95 million projected by 2027. So that's a 30x interest. So make no mistake, the top CEOs of the FANGs and AI companies in SF are most concerned about bringing Jensen Huang to dinner. Let's say Nobu in San Francisco, which actually happened, by the way. Elon and Oracle CEO actually met up with Jensen Huang in Nobu, San Francisco, which is a top, very, very expensive Japanese restaurant, to guess what? Convince Jensen Huang to give them the chips to train their AI. So make no mistake, and Nvidia has a 90% like market cap because they are the only company that can manufacture the very, very, very high-end chips needed. Why? Because of TSMC, that close connection to TSMC as well. I won't go into detail, but if you know the semicon industry, you know how extremely skewed the power distribution is to that few companies. Why is China invading Taiwan for TSMC is such a big deal? Why is TSMC and Nvidia committing to building their chips in America? Why is that such a big deal for geopolitical tensions? Chips to train AI. Okay, so here's a satellite image of Google having already deployed around 1 gigawatt liquid cooled TPU. Okay, one thing you need to know, layman, for gigawatt, why is this a big deal? In Malaysia, our best data centers are at roughly around like 1 megawatt or something per, like in a tier 4 data center. You probably have more than that. We're talking about the metric of megawatts. In America, the top 5 AGI labs, they're not already talking about megawatts, they're talking about gigawatts. They're talking about what percentage of the whole nation's electricity bill can I take to train my AI? Big, big numbers, huh? 1 gigawatt is 1,000 times bigger than 1 megawatt, huh? I think Malaysia, someone Google search for me. I think like, I don't know how many gigawatts Malaysia produces annually, but you get a picture. They're talking about percentage of the whole nation's electricity bill just to train AI. So this is already happening, and this contributes to AI improving very, very fast. So the next one is, AI is actually really, really dangerous. Oh, I don't know what happened. So if you buy that AGI is going to be the invention of all inventions, then it's like humanity is inventing the most powerful jet engine with no steering wheel, seatbelt, brake pads, or airbags. AI safety is the steering wheel, seatbelts, brake pads, and airbags of AI research. You know, I just came from a couple of flights recently, and there are two interesting observations here about flights. One, never ever in any flight will you ever escape the pramugari, like the flight attendant, giving you a safety briefing of how to wear a seatbelt, showing you where the exit signs is. No matter what airplane you board, South Africa airplane, Philippines airplane, they are gonna do the same thing. Because why? If they don't have that, they'll lose their license. This is one safety feature, policy, right? Here's the second thing. It's interesting to me that when I was laying over in China, in Baiyuan Airport, and there were two firefighter stations. Two firefighter stations on standby. And here's the thing about airplanes you need to know about. They are very, very safe. The base rate, or like the odds of an airplane combusting and exploding upon landing, is so low that you probably get like once in maybe 3 years or something in some random airport we saw in South Korea. But like, that's very, very low. But despite the low odds, you have two firefighter stations on standby, just in case that happened. And by the way, airplanes got so safe despite being a marvel of human engineering. They got so safe that it's 20 times safer than you walking out of this auditorium and booking a Grab driver. That's how safe airplanes are. And we don't get to very safe airplanes. We don't handle nuclear weapons. We don't handle bioweapons by being like laissez-faire, by being like, yeah, you know what, the market will correct us. You know, No need for firefighting stations, no need for FAA. No, it's a combination of people inventing the seatbelts and people enforcing the seatbelts that we got airplanes that are 20 times safer than a car. The FAA is the Federation Aeronautics Aviation Association or something. They are the ones that regulate and give licenses to airlines. They are the ones that specify, like, okay, airplane one must fly above 10,000 feet so that they don't collide. Every time you land, you must fly at this speed. You must make sure that you give this safety briefing. Otherwise, we kill your license and you can't operate. It's because of this, combined with the engineers that do 100 safety checks. Oh, let's make sure the jet engine can withstand 10,000 flights. Aluminum can withstand the pressures of flight. The gas mask will actually fall on time if there's actually an emergency. The tires won't be. It's a combination of engineering checks and policy enforcements that makes the airplane so safe. So what are some key challenges in AI safety? I won't go into detail, but just brushing it through. There's a thing called alignment problem, where till today, we have two parts to this. We don't know how to tell the AI, we can't specify the AI to do the thing that we want it to do. And secondly, we don't actually have perfect moral theories. To anyone who has studied a humanities class and deal with the idea of death and meaning of life, we don't have perfect moral theories. We don't know what is the good, the true, the beautiful. And yet, now we're going to tell this 10,000 IQ being how to do the good, the true, the beautiful. So, and then we also have scalability problem, deception and power seeking, like the alignment faking paper, and we have control problems as well. How do we ensure that a Terminator situation wouldn't happen, where the off button actually exists? Now, let's come back to here. You might be thinking at this point, wow, Zhu, that's a lot of fear mongering. That's like 1 hour of fear mongering among like the smart academics. But I'm like, make no mistake here. There was an open letter signed by the top AI experts and public figures. And I'm going to read it verbatim. Mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority alongside societal risk, such as pandemics and nuclear war. I'm going to read that again. Mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority alongside other societal scale risks, such as pandemics and nuclear war. You think about, I'm surrounded by academics here, and the one thing you need to know, I'm sorry if I, with all due respect here, sorry if I'm going to make a joke. Oh yeah, I'm sitting across the dean, and let's agree on one thing here. Let's not mess around. Academics, there's one thing you need to know about them. They love their face. They are not willing to stick their neck out unless they really believe in something. But guess what? The world's most technical computer scientists are sticking their neck out and saying, hey, this AGI thing is such a big deal that it is the same level as the way we dealt with nuclear weapons and pandemic. Just let that sink in for a moment. So, what are a couple of like AI safety risks that we see? What are some of the AGI risks? Let's spell it out a bit. I won't go into all. I'm just gonna cherry pick. Like I'm just gonna like pick maybe. Let's talk about weak safety cultures. So one thing you need to know is that did you know that for pandemics, for bioweapons, where you have labs of BSL level 3, as in very, very lethal pathogens in a man-made environment, did you know that the base rate of a lab leak is 100 per year, instances per year? There's 100 instances of labs controlling very lethal COVID level pandemic bioweapons leaking. 100 instances. And that's just bioweapon, I'm just drawing an analogy here. Now think about it for AI. All it takes is a slightly unhinged employee committing corporate espionage to steal the most powerful models in those labs and then bring it out, chabut USB galore, and then just like go. Okay, it's not that easy lah, but what keeps the information security officer in the fangs up at night? That they can't be sure that their most trusted employees are not committing corporate espionage to steal their trade secrets and leak it to China. That's what keeps them up at night. There's such a so the challenge to you is how can we secure making sure that there's no um, maybe one surprising thing that you might not know is that the top 5 AI companies in San Francisco have a 6-month lead between public release and private release, meaning that they have 6-month more Chang'e model inside the labs before the one you see in public. So by the time they release Sora or ChatGPT 4, they already have GPT 5 or something inside. They just can't tell you. They pretend they don't have, just know that. And that's going to be a huge. So so the next thing is here to say is like safety washing exists. Here's a little fun fact. Did you know who was the main perpetrator who invented recycling? Who was the culprit that invented the concept of recycling? Big plastic. Coca-Cola, companies like Coca-Cola, they want to push the burden to you. They're like, we are green. We are very green. You are the problem. So let's invent the concept of recycling to make you feel better about the situation, to push the burden to society. So same thing's going to happen with the AI companies. You're going to see these top AI CEOs, Dario Amodei, Sam Altman, they're going to stand up publicly and say two very conflicting things. On one hand, they have all publicly stated that the greatest extinction risk for humanity is from their AGI, and it's one of those labs. They already admitted to that. And on the other hand, they are also claiming just how safe their labs are when they're really not. The ratio of airplanes, if I draw the analogy of airplanes here, there's a ratio of, I'm going to get to it here in a bit. So here's our current situation. We have all these models with rapidly increasing intelligence. We have no idea how they work. And in 2 years, we went from middle school math to graduate level math. And this doesn't seem to be obviously slowing down. Many researchers think that transformative AI will be developed within a few decades, maybe within the next couple of years. Now, who's working on this? You might be thinking. 2 key numbers to keep in mind. 2,000 full-time AI safety researchers to a ratio of 200,000 full-time AI researchers. Now, you might think I'm a bit cherry-picked this or something, but I'm going to take the lower bound of this number, which is 40,000. That's roughly 40,000 full-time capability engineers working in the top frontier labs. Again, the top 5 AI companies, 5 by 5 mile radius in San Francisco, 40,000. That's the lower bound, lower conservative estimate. That's still a ratio of 20 to a ratio of 1 safety engineer working the steering wheel, seatbelt, airbags, and brake pads. And you know what? Guess what? That one safety engineer is often not hired by the company, but a third-party, very concerned academic doing non-profit research work. So that is the very bleak situation here. The ratio of people doing safety research to the ratio of people doing the jet engine, off the charts. So I'm advised a couple of these universities, and I'm part of a lot of these universities that are trying to change this. We're trying to get more smart people investigating solutions to AI safety. Solutions that have teeth from a technical lever, policy lever, journalism lever, operations lever, how to build companies in AI safety, etc. So this is another paper to just highlight as this is you can Google search this, nationalsecurity.ai. Nationalsecurity.ai. It's written by Dan Hendricks, Eric Schmidt, and Alexander Wang. Now, the thing to know about Eric Schmidt is that he was the ex-CEO of Google. And he got very, very concerned about AI, AGI in particular. Alexander Wang built the company called Scale that basically fed the data labeling sweatshop to OpenAI. So these people, they are at the frontier of AI, and yet they are very, very concerned, and they wrote this paper of what's the reality, what's some solutions, how can countries respond in a super intelligent power dynamic race between US and China, where they're trying to race to build an AGI. So let's come to some solutions here. Some policy solutions I'll be excited to see is multilateral coalition building. Malaysia is ASEAN Chairman 2025. We have a tremendous opportunity to set agendas and try to do influencing work for other countries to follow suit. Southeast Asia is home to 700 million people. And I'm really, really worried that the arms race between the top 5 AGI companies in San Francisco and the arms race between US and China, because this is a nuclear football, right? They're trying to build, the same way Manhattan Project happened to outbeat another country in racing to build the first nuclear weapon. The same thing's going to happen with countries racing to build the first AGI, because whoever creates AGI first will have authoritarians will be more oppressive, hackers will be more effective. There's a huge reason why North Korea, like countries like North Korea or Russia will have like huge interests in wanting these technologies. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Yeah, you're gonna try fixing this once. My favorite peribahasa here is gajah sama gajah berjuang, pelanduk mati di tengah-tengah. Malaysia will be the pelanduk that mati di tengah-tengah. And not only that, Malaysia currently is the katak di bawah tempurung here. So not only are we pelanduk, we also katak. GG. There's a gamer in me as well. So I would hate that 4 years later, I'm sitting across a minister who just found out that 75% of their workforce just got displaced by 2,000 ringgit per month subscription from one of the frontier models. Think about it. You're a for-profit seeking CEO. Why you want to reduce the bottom line cost of your company? Why would you pay again the work of 20 employees? Why care about their SOXO, their PTO, their feelings, and that you need a hire manager for, when you can just bypass all of that and pay 2,000 ringgit a month to run your company? Which, by the way, has already happened. If you just Google search like AI agent run company, like this is not fiction anymore. This is not fantasy anymore. It's actually unfolding before our eyes. So my little rally call is to hope that Malaysia and along ASEAN countries don't be the pelanduk here, don't be the katak here. We can be proactive than that. Here's the second pitch: start an AI safety institute in Malaysia. So I advise NTU and US under university AI safety groups under the Singapore AI Safety Institute. They're directly funded there. I also have saw the rise of like the UK AI Safety Institute, US AI Safety Institute. France is also starting one AI Safety Institute soon. Canada as well. There's no reason why we should be out of that conversation as well. How much does it cost? Like a bottom line cost of starting an AI Safety Institute? I think in the ballpark 10 million ringgit to 40 million. 10 million ringgit to hire staffers, the same way NIO was established. If someone Google search for me how much NIO costs, like as an institution. How much did Malaysian government put in to start NIO? Do the same thing, but for AI safety. 10 million ringgit for a 10 billion ringgit headache. Easy trade-off, any day. Third, direct economic AGI transition research. I'm really excited to talk to university students for 2 reasons. On the technical front, there are so many unsolved problems in machine learning safety. There are so many unsolved, and then in economic front, there's so many unsolved problems of what this AGI transition is going to look like. Again, companies should have been AI ready yesterday. That's too late now. We have to be AGI ready because the speed of progress and because of how much dangers it can happen. I'm excited to see university students, research. Do you know there's this concept called UBI, the Universal Basic Income, where I think the only credible instance of it happening in a wide scale, where I think it's like a couple of people, like 100 people not working, and they just living off like 4,000 ringgit per month, because AI created so much economic opportunity, right? So they just live on handouts, universal basic income. So in a world where we don't have to work and AI does all the work and the prosperity is shared, hopefully among many people, everyone gets a pay cut to go enjoy the beach or something, whatever. not enough research has been done on that. What are the implications there? The most recent case that was done was by Sam Altman, who conducted research that was like, okay, but that's just like one. For such an important topic, I want to see 99 more research papers on like modeling the economic scenario of preparing Malaysia for AGI. When an OpenAI employee created AGI on their laptop in 2028, what is the implication to Malaysia? From the minister front to the palm oil export front to the joblessness front, do more modeling research. I'd be excited for that. Again, forget we should have been AI ready yesterday. We have to be AGI ready now. Yeah, what happens when we lose 50% of our palm oil exports to AI-enabled nanomaterial research, which is already happening now? Do you know all the top people, top executives in OpenAI who has recently left? Some of those chief scientists, engineers who really want to make money and they can raise funds, they are starting companies in nanomaterial deep physics research, AI-enabled nanomaterial research, AI-enabled deep physics. So the little framing here is like, what year will we see the first AI winning a Nobel Prize? And it's not far off, probably not a 10-year problem. It's maybe a 5 or 7-year problem. My guess is like, we might see the first AGI in like 2028. Whether or not the effects will propagate to Malaysia, maybe I'll give it 2 years. I'll give it 2 years, right? 2 years for the effects to come. I'd give it 4 additional years after AGI is created to see the first Nobel Prize winning AI or something in 2032 through deep physics. But those are just my projections. But I just want you to get a sense of like how compressed the timeline is. If you take all these ideas seriously and you combine them, these are the implications here. So what are some startup opportunities here? I'm seeing a room full of university students. You might be wondering, you still want to do startup stuff. What does the future look like for you? Assurance tech exists. Google search assurance tech, which is projected to be a $300 billion economy, but market by 2030. So think of it as like creating the next PwC for AI, right? Compliance, auditing these models. AI cybersec and hardware sec is going to be huge. So how do you safeguard an AI chip from a nation state level attack? I think that's going to be huge as well. We're going to see, when DeepSeek was announced, guess what happened the day after? There was a still unidentified nation state level DDoS attack on DeepSeek, the company. Luckily they could recover, but again, very, very highly motivated countries with lots of hacker power have a lot of incentive to want to steal your model weights, to want to steal what's the best AI model and jump ahead. So that's going to happen. So the third one is AI GovTech. That's 100 and like, if I minus out the 10 influential countries, I frankly just think it's just 2, US and China, with the money and the political will to build the AGI, to build something like a Manhattan Project. I think it's only just these 2 countries. But let's say I give you 10 countries in my napkin math. That's still 185 countries, United Nations sanctioned countries, 185 countries that are not prepared for AGI. What can we do to prepare the 185 countries who are going to be, again, pelanduk and the katak in this whole story here, unfortunately? So that's like something for you to think about. I'm going to go jump to a demonstration here. So my friend actually made this in Berkeley, California. It's called SIF AI. You won't have access to this because this is like info hazardous or something, but this is like hazardous if it goes out. But I'm just going to give some quick demo. I'm going to zoom in here just so you can see. So, okay, let's put YB Dato Sri Anwar bin Ibrahim here. So this is all happening live, and this is all happening with yesterday's AI technology. So what it's doing right now is scraping information that it can get on YB, and then see what are some vulnerabilities and targeted attacks. So okay, let's fish YB now. Let's send YB a political persuasion email. It's all happening live, and it's with yesterday's AI technology. Yeah, so this is happening live. Okay, I can reply and then say something like, I don't believe you. My case replies. So yeah, so this can already happen. Spear phishing legislators already happen. Cybercrime as entrepreneurship already happens. Let's generate a deepfake video. Let's let's have a picture of him holding a gun. Don't take picture of this, or at least this one. This one. It's okay. It's okay. You can take a picture of the demo. But look, this is created live of YB, unfortunately holding a gun. So these are the real world scenarios that actually happen. Sexual abuse of minors already happened. Loan fraud with deepfakes. Manipulated media in war, especially in the war in Ukraine and Russia. That's already used. I can also create an audio deepfake, but I'm going to skip this part because yeah, this has already happened again among the Singaporean companies. And then there's like fake news. Let's generate one in. I'll just do English. Here. This all AI. This all AI happening live. It's all happening live and with yesterday's. So this is extremely lifelike. No. It's all happening live, huh? 10 seconds only. Okay, and then let's say I want to scare people. I'm from Cheras. So let's say polling locations are dangerous. Let's create a tweet to scare people from from voting in the elections. It's fake. It's all fake, but it's all AI created. Now, I'm just your average. I'm just your average guy. Imagine you're a very highly sophisticated hacker. What can they do with this smarter? So this happened, and then just credits to my friends at Civ AI. So I'm gonna come back here. Gonna come back here. So I want to close with an inspiring story here. This is the story of Jechin. He's one of my best friends here in AI safety. He goes to Harvard. He's a Malaysian who cares about nation building. He grew up in public school. He got into KDJ under a scholarship, which is one of the best schools here. He represented Malaysia in 4 Olympiads. I think he still holds the record, 4 science Olympiads, IMO, IOAA, and stuff. He went to Harvard as a Fulbright scholar, and he worked at Kazana Institute as a policy research intern. And in the summer, last summer, he joined Harvard University's AI safety technical fellowship and policy fellowship to learn more about AI safety, to learn about the things that I just said at a more technical and policy level. This summer, he's gonna after his Amazon internship, he's gonna work at the Department of Science, Innovation and Technology in the UK government. So it's the UK government's arm of MOSTI. UK is MOSTI. Right now, he's working on the higher alpha things, as I mentioned in my spectrum of risk, which is AI-enabled CBRN risk, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear risk. He wants to investigate not the current capabilities, but researching into the future risk of AGI. So again, we should have been AI ready yesterday. We need to be AGI ready now. What can university students' research papers do to prepare Malaysia or prepare nation states that are not influential in the not less influential in the AI arms race to prepare for AGI? So right now, I'm proud to say he is one of 5, including me, full-time AI safety people doing AI safety work in Malaysia. We need way more than this, and I hope to inspire more people here. That's why I'm founding Mangrove. So Mangrove, just like the trees that protect the Southeast Asia from lots of floods, I started mangroveaisafety.com. Mangrove is developing the AI safety, security, and governance field in Southeast Asia. We advise executives and decision makers with projects and opportunities that reduce catastrophic risk posed by advanced AI. You can WhatsApp me directly there, mangroveais.com. I think I'll just leave this slide open. And then we can get into Q&A. But I'm gonna leave this one on here. And feel free to double click on my past experiences. I'm happy to share as well. I think it's too late for our introduction, but just previously I was invited to speak at the Prime Minister's office to talk about AI safety, which is like one level lower than the Prime Minister. I was interviewed at BFM recently to talk about AI safety for 40 minutes podcast. So I'm pretty excited to share about that as well. I was also invited by the CEO of UOB, Kahan, to speak to the fund managers at KWSP to model like what is the future going to look like for the whole Malaysia's employee retirement fund. So I'm really thankful for those opportunities. So yeah, feel free to double click on that as well. I'll leave this on the slide. Prof. Namrik, over to you.
Thank you, TK Zoo. I'm a bit speechless. It's very scary. It looks so scary. Okay, let's have some discussions, question and answers, and so on. Feel very free to throw any question or whatever that cross your mind. Silakan. I mean, let me begin, I suppose.
Yes,
Looking at this scenario, anybody want to ask or?
That was a brave soul.
Okay, Kavi, silakan Kavi dulu.
Okay, thank you very much. So, it's a eye-opening for me lah, at least what you have presented lah. So, like a child from the 80s we were introduced to the concept of macam dulu kan Terminator movie and everything. Alright, so we were introduced the concept of fear the AI, the robot and everything, but not in my lifetime that I would imagine that we will be facing this kind of level of danger lah. So thank you for informing us on that thing lah. So on our aspect, right, so most of us are basically students and where I say pelanduk and Katak and also Timun. All right, so what do you expect, suggest, all right, for us, okay, because you're saying that only that 5 kilometer cubic, the one that is, they are the one that going to paint this AI scene, but what about us? So what can we do in order to effect this in a global scale because like you said, we are just again minority, not small scale So how can we here especially if you can give advice to those people here in this hall or those are hearing, what can we do to help mitigate this risk? Thank you very much.
So I'm gonna leave this paper on here. But you mentioned Terminator, so let me clear the air a bit. There's a lot of fake parts to Terminator. I rewatched the entire series. A lot of fake. The time travel part is fake. Forget about that. The killer robots with six packs abs, fake. That's fake. But the real part in Terminator was that one scene in Terminator 3 Genesis where the US military general has a dilemma where all the employees are staring at him and asking, why aren't you deploying Skynet, which is their AI-enabled, their very powerful AI cybersecurity software thingy. And he explicitly said at the start of Terminator 3, I still want humans in the loop. By the end of the film, he was forced, he was strong-armed. Everyone was looking around, hey, why aren't you deploying Skynet, which is the very smart 10,000 IQ AI that can neutralize any future and all cyber threats. So that was very real. This is a thing called gradual loss of control. You have very top powerful executives, decision makers, looking at AI and be like, at some point, they will be held at gunpoint or strong arm into be like, yeah, maybe you should upload AI or something to this powerful thing. Manage your TMB, manage your water bill, manage everything, right? So that's a very real salient scene. The second thing to say here is, you might be thinking, okay, come on, Zoo, killer robots, really? Guess what? 2 months ago, as I alluded at the start, Google announced that they are dropping the "Do No Evil" slogan so that they can enter surveillance and military. And guess if the arms race isn't as clear as day now, 2 months before that, OpenAI announced their partnership with Anduril, Anduril. Anduril, if you need to know this, is a Silicon Valley military defense startup. It's a Silicon Valley darling. Whatever money they need, they get check sizes to build very, very lethal next generation autonomous weapons. OpenAI has announced the official partnership with Anduril, a defense contractor. That was a huge news that I don't know why it's not publicly announced in the Star media or something, you know? It's just under the radar of Malaysians, because Malaysians still talking about Gen AI. We're still talking about how can we be AI ready. But I think it's unfortunate that the pace of AI is so fast that right now it's permeating into the top militaries in the most influential military government. So make no mistake, there's an arms race between the top 5 AI companies in the 5 by 5 mile radius in San Francisco. I'm going to keep repeating this. And there's also an arms race between US and China, the same way nuclear weapons were such a big deal between the USSR and the Western Bloc during the Cold War. And you, I like my napkin math as well. Here's one more napkin math for you to think about. In the Manhattan Project in 1941, I think it took 2 years, costed at the time 0.5% of America's GDP, the whole project, to get the news board, to get all the top scientists in the same room in Los Alamos. Whoever has watched Oppenheimer here, Oppenheimer, the movie, yeah, the power gum, that was 0.5% of America's GDP. Recently, American government announced Stargate. Stargate is a $500 billion project. I don't know where they're going to get the money, whether it's real or not, I don't know. $500 billion to enter and potentially nationalize AI. So do the same thing with Manhattan Project, but for AI. It is $500 billion adjusted to inflation relative to current GDP is 1.5% of America's GDP. So that means that empirically, the US government, you could infer that they are 3 times more interested in AGI than nuclear weapons. So make no mistake, this is a really, really big deal. And because of big numbers, we couldn't capture just how big this problem is. And countries have huge interests to be the first to reach it. The same way we dealt with nuclear weapons, right? Think about, so you mentioned about solutions. I'd be excited to see people do studies about parallels of how humanity has dealt with powerful technologies. When nuclear weapons were created, right, after the Cold War, I think the creation of IAEA, the International Atomic Energy something, they are the ones that came up with a treaty that banned nuclear testing, right? So let me challenge you. What is the equivalent for building AGI safely? Think about how CERN, CERN came together, right? Banded the world's best scientists, resources, all the benefits of discovering the atomic standard, the standard atomic model. Sorry, all the benefits are shared, all the resources are shared, right? What would a CERN for AGI look like? A CERN where it's done very safely, right? Because you have all the scientists double checking the work, making sure that you don't just deploy a powerful AGI, right? What would a CERN equivalent for AGI look like? Here's something to think about. Now, let me get more object level, more concrete level. So you asked about like solutions that university students can do. So I left this paper up. I love my archive papers as well. This paper is by Dan Hendricks, Nicholas Carlini, John Schulman, Jacob Steinhardt. Oh my gosh, this is like a star crew of like AI safety scientists here. They wrote this paper, slightly dated, but still relevant. It's unsolved problems in machine learning safety. So if you are a very, very amazing technical researcher, check out this paper. Why should you work on this? Because it's unsolved. It's unsolved. Please work on it. Once we solve this, maybe we can move the needle with alignment problems, etc. So this is one. And then another paper. Sorry, I love my papers. I'm going to go on a compute. So compute governance. open problems, paper. There's also this paper. If you're more technical and policy bent, you can check out this Anka Rule et al. Paper, Open Problems in Technical AI Governance. Why you should work on them? Because they're open problems and they're unsolved. And then in terms, I'll be interested to see, and I'm just brainstorming live here, maybe like more philosophical research of like how can we prepare for AGI realities, more economic paper, right? The same way I want to see a Kazana for AGI. I want to see a Kazana for AGI. Research what are the pain points, what are the likelihood that in 4 years a minister won't be able to sleep at night because half the palm oil export is gone. How can we prepare for that? How can we prepare for the fresh grads of 2028 to a jobless world, utterly jobless? I know it's very scary. I know you're already thinking about employment here, but what would that look like, right? And maybe one more story to paint here. I keep referencing Manhattan Project. If you watch the film Oppenheimer, I think the spirit here is like, there's one scene in Oppenheimer where they created the enriched uranium-235 bomb, all right? They're ready to launch it. The day before, he shared that, you know what? I have a concern that if I launch this nuclear bomb, the first ever, it would be so catastrophic that it would cause a chain reaction and blow up the entire atmosphere. I'm not sure if those people who watch it caught that scene. He was going to cause a chain reaction and literally blow up the whole atmosphere. He's not sure about that. But did you know what smart this little too smart? Do you know what he did? He just went ahead. He's like, let's launch. Boom. No, this is not how we deal with powerful technologies here. This is not, no, don't launch ahead if you're not sure that this nuclear bomb safety, like maybe it'll affect generations in Fukushima and like the half-life of a decay, atomic decay. If you're not sure about that, don't launch it. If you're not, but unfortunately, combined with the arms race happening between the top 5 AI companies and US and China, the race won't stop. We're binded here. So all we can do is to mitigate the risk. And my rally call to the academics in the room who are technically savvy, who have policy know-how to do things that move the needle here, to slow down the arms race dynamics, to be like, prepare Malaysia, prepare ASEAN to be able to take a stance and say like, whoa, this AGI thing, we're not ready for its creation because it's going to cause so much problems. My Fortune 500 Malaysian executives are all going to gonna being scammed by blackmail. I'm going to see half my voters, if not 75% of my voters, getting fired and out of a job, and they can't feed their kids. I'm going to see the class of 2028 or something be actually jobless because AGI has replaced so many things, so many functions, right? So I think the things to move the needle here are, I'm going to show this slide again, just some startup opportunities and some policy opportunities here. Yeah, I'll be excited to see people work on these, right? How can we build multilateral coalition building? How can we start an AI Safety Institute in Malaysia? How can we direct more economic AGI transition research, right? Assume AGI, some irresponsible American company or Chinese company is gonna deploy an AGI anyways in 2028. What happens to Malaysia? What can we do about that? And then there's also this. And then I'll take a pause there. That's a very big answer for your question. But yeah, I'll take a pause here.
Any next question? But to me, Zuki, the future looks so gloomy. Almost like nothing we can do about it.
I think that's why I'm like speaking here as well. I think this is a matter of like just raising awareness.
And I'm sure you have spoken this in front of the NIO office. And what did the Malaysian government react? What did they say?
Yeah, putting you on tough spot here, Prof. I can only share so much. But maybe the extent I can share is like
Oh, they are doing something.
I also can't share that. But I think two things I can generalize lah. One is that the discussion level is not at my presentation level. To put it very bluntly lah.
So still really a kata.
That sorry, I know that's like a YouTube here, but live stream here, but let's just say that the discussion level could be higher. Let's just say that. And then the second one is like, I think that's movement. I think that's movement, and I'm happy that there's movement towards addressing AI safety things, but I'm not as optimistic that the deliverables will be punchy enough, will have teeth. Let's just put it that way lah. I think that's the furthest extent I can share anything in the.
I think it's not movement. I think just reaction.
Reaction, yeah.
Okay. Any next question or any comment or whatever, please.
Prof, we have two questions online.
Oh, okay.
Right, I'm
Okay.
going to read the first one. What would it take for our society as a whole to be ready for all the upcoming threats AGI and current AI can bring, as shown in the SIF AI demonstration earlier?
Yeah. I think a little call to action here. Same thing as what I've talked throughout this presentation. Airplanes, nuclear weapons. Think about how humanity has dealt with airplanes. How has humanity dealt with nuclear weapons? I want to see 2 firefighter stations at the airport, even though the base rates of an airplane combusting upon landing is so low, but we still have the firefighter anyways, right? Because that is how we deal with sophisticated technology. What's the equivalent here for AGI? We could have a CERN for AGI, but of course, I know I'm just talking beyond this. We could push this up to the agenda, right? Maybe with enough credible people in academia, in policy, in technical research can push this up to the highest level of governments. Make this a conversation point. Help raise awareness, etc. And the big elephant in the room here is 2 elephants fighting against each other, US and China. And the top 5 AGI companies having sway of 99% of all the AI development.
Yeah.
So because of the arms race, it's hard to, you might think that it's hard for a individual to move the needle, but I think the same way we have campaign for climate change, there's hope here, folks. The same way climate change is now at the frontier, at the forefront. I want to see a COP21, Paris Climate Action Agreement, something at that level. We have faced this before, folks. We have faced this through nuclear weapons. We have faced this through climate change. We can do the same thing with AGI, make building safer AGI. So I'll leave you with that. Yeah.
Right. For the second question, what is your opinion or advice on how teaching and learning and also assessment for degree courses should be with AI on the rise?
Yeah. Could you just repeat the question once more?
All right. What is your opinion or advice on how teaching and learning and also assessment for degree courses should be with AI on the rise?
Okay. Yeah. I'm also talking to Dean and Josh here sitting next to me. So let me take a sip of water.
Yeah. These days, a lot of copying and assignment using ChatGPT.
Right. Yeah. So okay, if it's up to me, I'll answer it this way. If it's up to me, same rally call. We should have been AI ready yesterday. We need to be AGI ready. What can university administrators prepare our students for an AGI ready world? I want you to feel the AGI. I want you to feel the recklessness of the frontier labs, the irresponsibility, and the binded arms race of racing to build a digital god. It's quite disappointing that is the ultimate goal, but Feel free to cite all the public media press release from those times. The CEOs openly admit risk from AGI, extinction from AGI is very real, but we're going to press ahead anyways. And yes, we're trying to build a digital god. We're racing each other to build a digital god, because whoever has control of the first digital god will have control of the world, blah, blah. Like, that narrative is like sailed. So if it's up to me, just 3 concrete things I'm excited to see forefront work done by university administrators. 1, what would like an AGI safety curriculum look like? So, this is something that you all can Google search. I'm going to say 3 links, and it's the same links I dropped during the BFM interview. So the first link is Blue Dot Fellowship. Actually, fun fact, a Malaysian friend. So yeah, it's Google search Blue Dot Fellowship. Blue Dot Fellowship on AI safety. Take the course. It's free. It's virtual. Some Malaysians have took the class. A lot of Singaporeans have took the class, took the fellowship. Apply for it. Check out the syllabus. All the stuff is there. Fun fact: a Malaysian friend actually runs Blue Dot. Her name's Lillian. Yeah. She went to Minerva University. She was one of the very active Leo club members in Malaysia. Yeah, she runs Blue Dot. So Blue Dot AI Safety Fellowship. Okay, second one to Google search. Ready? Second one is sparai.org. sparai.org. On that website, you can see a lot of research mentors. You can see the different technical policy research agendas that the world's, let's just say second tier safety researchers are thinking about. Now, if you want to go top tier research agenda, look up matsprogram.org, which is one of the companies I worked for before. matsprogram.org, matsprogram.org. I'm going to say that again. MATS program, program.org. MAT stands for ML Alignment and Theory Scholars Program. So they pair up the world's best world-class safety researchers, who some work at the top AGI safety labs. They do the filter. It is very, very competitive, but at least you can browse through what the research mentors are exploring, the research agendas. And then my challenge to you, Malaysian university students and Malaysian university folks, is to see, can we replicate something similar here? Can we run an AGI safety fellowship here? Right? Introduce what is AGI within the computer science department. So this actually happened in Stanford. A couple of students who ran the university, they started a university AI safety group. So maybe IUM, whoever here is like entrepreneurial, talk to me. I can help you start IUM's AI Safety University group. Through Stanford's AI Safety University group, they ran it for 1 or 2 years. One of the offerings that they had was they facilitated a 8-week course on AGI safety. Every week it's like 2-hour reading, papers, 1-hour discussion. So they ran that for like 1 to 2 years. And then after 2 years, because it was so popular, a PhD person took on it, and it's now part of the computer science department in Stanford. So I'm talking to Prof. Norvik here, I'm talking to Dean here, and I'm talking to the various esteemed professors. Oh, head of departments here. Yeah. I think potentially y'all could, no pressure here, but y'all could be the first Malaysian university to teach AGI safety. Yeah. Again, the pitch is like, AI ready, that's yesterday's news. How can we be AGI ready, right? Make it part of the public conscience. Make it part of the man on the street conversation. Every day, hopefully, these lovely folks will go to sleep and be like, apa jadi ya kalau AGI datang? And then what can I do about it, you know? So yeah, so again, the rally call here, check out the research agendas on the websites I've linked. Replicate some level of that in local university education. We can start with an AGI Safety 101 course in your CS department. I'll be talking to some other universities as well. And same thing as well, I hope to see Malaysia's first AI Safety University group. It could be we could start with a club. You could get some students here who are very motivated to do something about it, to start a Malaysian IUM AI Safety University group. Right, do things here, run events, run speaker events, run the fellowship. Read, do one round of reading of it and teach it, etc. And I'm genuinely happy to like fork out 3 hours per week of my time to facilitate this. This is this is the least I can do. Thank you. This is the least I can do, and I'm being very sincere here with the offer. So please take it. I'm excited to see Malaysia's first university AI safety group. Second, on top of that, incorporate AGI Safety Fundamentals 101 course. It could be an 8-week, it could be a 4-unit class or something equivalent here, just one 4-unit class. And then the third one, I think, direct more resources to AGI safety research. So again, the two, start here. Like, I'll be excited for any student here, brilliant student here, to look up open problems in technical governance. I'll be excited to see people tackle unsolved problems in machine learning safety. Yeah, machine learning safety. Yeah, so by these people. So there's a lot to be done. This is a battle that we can win and we must win. We can do something about this, folks. Yes, we're at a race of time because people don't talk about this, right? You grew up learning about climate change. Right? You grew up learning to put the plastic bottle at the green bin, but you never heard of AGI safety yet because it wasn't a real thing until 5 years ago. But now you know. Now you have this same information as me. You can do something about it. The world is shaped by people no smarter than you and I. You can do something about it. Okay, I'm going to take a pause there.
Okay, I'm going to give one more question before I pass before I pass to Ashari. Huh? Okay, there are more questions coming up. We okay, huh?
Yes, okay, I'm good.
Actually, I have one more question online.
Sure.
Right. Just a follow-up question from the first one.
Sure.
How can we prepare those in schools? The threats you have mentioned has already reached schools, as in the US, there have already been deepfakes made of students.
Yeah. I wish I have the answers to the whole universe. I don't have good answers here. Prof, you probably have, but in terms of, I think starting awareness of like, yes, this is just the foreshadowing. This is just a teaser trailer, just a trailer of what's about to come. Which again, I'll draw your attention to the 3 things I bolded here. Right? I think deepfakes and stuff, they are somewhere here, right? Somewhere here. I want people to, while some people are talking about this, right? I want people to work on this so that I want people to work on all of these problems, all the way to extinction from AGI. What does it mean for Malaysia? What does it mean for ASEAN? What does it mean for your man on the street, your mom and stuff? So what is the story I want to avoid? The thing I want to avoid is we are talking about PDPA 3 years after all the data privacies are breached. 3 years after all the art is stolen, now only we start talking about watermark art. Too late. It's too late. They already stole the world's data and the world's art. Now we're talking about how to protect artists. Too late. So how can we do the same thing with bigger threats? We failed. We have failed in safeguarding guardrails for universities, academic integrity. We have failed that already. But we can do something about the next few threat models that are bigger, that are higher lethal. So that's my answer there. Yeah. Work on things that I'm highlighting in this here, these 3. Yeah. We are too late to deal with this. That's okay. We learn from our mistakes. Let's work on this.
All right, silakan. Apa ni? Okay. Can you turn on the?
Okay, one of the aims of computer science curriculum is to make the student understand the power and limitation of computers, mechanical computation. Alan Turing pointed to the hosting problem. On the problem. So we know that LLM models having a lot of limitation, yeah, black box, hallucination, bias. Do we need another model in order to achieve AGI? And when can we achieve AGI?
Well, Prof, this question, better. Okay. So, let me rapid fire answer this first. I don't think an AGI is going to be created because of a new sorry. Possibly, but it's probably built on top of all the past work that the top frontier labs have access to. So I'll say that. So it's a combination of like, if OpenAI is going to build the first AGI, it's going to look something like, we've made deep innovations in art creation through Sora, where I can generate a 4K video in 30 seconds. A hyper realistic 4K video in 30 seconds. I combine that with O3 model, which can do chain of thought reasoning and solve goal level math Olympiad problems, and break the frontier math benchmark. I combine that with, again, the best mathematician combined with the best artist, combined with the best lawyer, right? Reasoning, argumentation, combined with the best medical doctor thing, right? Having access to data privacy and cellular cancer research, combining that with the best nanomaterial researcher, etc. You combine all of these past inventions, and then most likely the AGI is going to look like a combination of accumulative inventions. Hopefully that answers your question there, of what it's going to look like. And then AGI is created one day on an OpenAI's employee laptop. And yeah. There was one thing was at the tip of my tongue. Please, yeah, please go ahead.
LLM, models based on statistical technique, the proximity and the frequency of word, which to me it looks like magic. That's why it's black box. You don't understand it. So I don't think we can achieve AGI with that kind of model. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, right. So, Prof, it sounds like you are skeptical that we can achieve AGI, assuming they're just stochastic parrots or something.
We can achieve, but with different model.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you mean? How do you mean? Yeah.
Let's say it's on numbers. Everything on numbers.
Right, matrices.
Yeah. The relationship between word, the proximity, and the frequency.
Yep.
I give you one example. Okay. When ChatGPT was launched, I play around. Yeah.
Yep.
I asked about Anwar Ibrahim. The answer came. Anwar Ibrahim is Prime Minister of Malaysia. Oh, there are many Anwar Ibrahim in the world.
Yep.
Then I asked, who is the wife of Anwar Ibrahim? Right.
Right.
The answer came. The first wife is Siti Asmah Muhammad Ali.
So it's a wrong answer, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because
wrong. It's the wife of Tun Mahathir.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There is the first wife.
Yep.
Then the ChatGPT told me the second wife.
Yep.
Adiza.
Mm.
Because the flaw in the model.
Mm.
That's why
Yep.
Noam Chomsky say it's a false sign.
Mm.
A plagiarism.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical that this model will bring us to AGI.
Yep.
I don't know. What you?
Yeah. So you're right to be skeptical, and I don't think I don't think you're the first to experience like sometimes the funny stupidity of these AI models. I'll give you that. I think that that is potentially one argument against like all this AGI fluff or something. I get it, but my response to this is I want people to think about what it can achieve in one of my slides, what it can achieve in the future. I want you to think about what is the sanity line of discussion about AI among the top researchers. Here's one empirical evidence here. Jan LeCun was one of the godfathers of AI as well, alongside Geoffrey Hinton and Yoshua Bengio. Jan LeCun is now the chief AI scientist for Meta. Jan LeCun used to not believe that AGI is a possibility. So if you track his public media presence, it used to be, I don't believe AGI is possible. To, okay, AGI is possible, but it's a 40-year away problem. Two, actually, never mind. AGI is not a 40-year away problem, but it's still a 15-year problem. Okay, never mind. And then his most recent interview in Q3 last year, his public interview, guess what his timelines are? 5 to 10 years. I think he's going to be the anti-hero here on this story. As in, I think that Yan LeCun is one of the most outspoken skeptics of like AI research. And make no mistake, there are also other elephants in the room that, like, you know, Fei Li and Andrew Ng, they have their reasons for being skeptical as well about like, is this AGI thing possible? But I'm just going to say this again. That's equal like to every counterweight to AI safety. To every punch against AI safety, there's a counter equal high counter punch to AI to the real estate AI research as well. And maybe one more thing here is like, I worry that we might be committing some fallacies here. And this goes to all of us, including me as well, because I was learning more about this AI thing and trying to make sense of all of this. So it's not just you, Prof. I think a lot of us, when we handle public conversations about frontier AI development, we make the fallacy of appeal to purity. Sure, AI can do X, Y, Z. It can simulate all the protein folding by AlphaFold and speed up cancer research by 20 years. Sure, it can invent new nanomaterials by Google DeepMind. Sure, it can control this, but it's not really smart. It's not really intelligent. It's not true intelligence. That's a fallacy I want us to catch. That's a appeal to purity, right? The same way we appeal to authority, right? Fallacy. If you took a philosophy class, appeal to authority. We also make the same mistake, and this goes to all of us, including me. Appeal to purity as well. I don't think if you look at the empirical evidence for yourself, if you draw your own models, if you read the papers, I don't think that we are way past the point that these AGI are just stochastic parrots. Sure, they make up one or two data like mistakes, right? They tell you the wrong like first wife of the president or something, but make no mistake, the very best models, when prompted properly, can be creating new pathogens, can help you sequence genomics, right? Which are the threat models that I'm most concerned about. Make no mistake, we're way past the point of stochastic parrots. If you actually, get a sense of the papers and stuff. Yeah. That's my fuller response there. Yeah. Prof, yeah. And then,
Prof Tengku, any more rebuttal point?
I'll stay on later as well.
Romani, you want to say something? Silakan.
Thank you. Thank you for the really eye-opening and also inspiring in certain area. Some years back, I think around to 2020, we had the social dilemma. There was, some video or movie, a documentary about the social media, the impact. And I still feel it for that particular, some of teenagers been sort of, their mind, their psychology, emotion is cracked through the social media. Do you, from your work and your concern about AI safety, do you see similar trend, or is it multiple trend you see going to happen to our society and humanity?
So you mentioned about the 2020 social dilemma documentary on social media. Yeah.
Mhm. Are we seeing the same trend or even multiple fold of the impact of this technology to our, human and not only human, I think towards humanity? Are you feeling, through your research work, through your, all this, engagement that you have, are you seeing the same thing or even worse than that?
Yeah, so the short answer is, Prof. Oh, also, I feel self-conscious here. I need to send some pictures to my mom. So maybe I'll get someone to. I'll take some videos and pictures. Yeah, so I think, Prof, the short answer here, I think I addressed it in one of the slides here. Short answer here is like this one, and then this one. I think a lot of concerns in okay, put it this way. I want us to be the adults in the room. The same way Facebook was created in 2006 out of a college freshman dorm. And then 20 years later, influencing elections, escalating geopolitical tensions with deepfakes. I want us to be the adult in the room and go back to 2006 and be like, hey, Mark, maybe like this thing you're going to create is going to create some social implications. Let's mitigate this. Same thing with Oppenheimer. It's a tale as old as time. Oppenheimer, when you create a nuclear bomb and you're not sure that the whole atmosphere will be annihilated, will be evaporated because of if you're not sure that how many generations of the half-life decay of a nuclear bomb is going to stay on after you launch that weapon, maybe don't launch the weapons. Maybe don't deploy. So similarly, maybe not deploy very powerful frontier models that your very motivated hackers and terrorists can have access to cause chaos. Maybe make sure that I can safeguard with a 99.999% reliability that this Google Gemini 2.5 Pro model will not teach me to build a bomb when I tell it to teach me to build a bomb. Teach me to build a next pandemic. So we are at the cusp, we are at the frontier. We are careening at the frontier. And we cannot make the same mistake as we did with cybersecurity, where we had a Cybersecurity Act after WannaCry. We should have had the Cybersecurity Act even before a WannaCry can have a chance to happen, because the stakes are so high, the lives destroyed. And now we're dealing not just with just some other technology. Again, it's the most powerful technology we'll ever build. Ever. Such a big deal that our human brains can't capture it. So I hopefully that have a complete answer. So I want us to be the adults in the room and intervene at the point of creation, not too late. Why are we talking about PDPA? Why are we talking about watermarking art 3 years after the world's art is stolen by the top AI companies? Too late. Too late. Yeah.
Okay, I think I'll have to stop it there. We actually passed the time, 12:45. I really like to thank you, Zukit, for sharing a lot of your experiences, your exposure, your knowledge, as well as your offer to the Faculty of Computer Science to really do something about the awareness, the subject, and so on.
The offer is very real. Please take it.
The offer, he said, the offer is very real. So the university better take it, inshallah.
3 hours per week, yeah.
So, okay, thank you very much. And we should give a good round of applause to the speaker. Thank you very much, Zukit. Thank you so much, Zukit. I'll pass it back, Ashari.
Sure. I'll stay around for maybe 20 minutes for any questions from any eager students.
Wow, okay.
Or let's start the AI Safety University group for IIUM. You should chat with me right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, okay.
Ashari.
Thank you, Mr. Zulkifli Chan. Now we have about 5 more minutes to 1. Actually, we are supposed to end at 12:45. I would like to also thank we have about 40 viewers on YouTube, plus minus, okay? And those who are here, Zoo would like to stay for a while if you all have any question. All right.
I'll stay on for 20 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, would like to call Prof. Novik to give a token of appreciation to Mr. Zhu. Okay, with that, thank you very much, everyone. We have, I believe we have packed lunch outside. All right, yeah. With that, let's end our session with Tasbih Kafara and I'll ask.
I'll stay at this spot if you want to grab me, for next 20 minutes. Yep.
Okay, Zu said he'll be here for
Thank you.
a few more minutes.
Yeah, in case, yeah.
Privately.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Cam.
Come, you can speak. Azmi. Sini sikit.
Boleh nampak. Thank you. Thank you.
Cantik. Very good.
Thank you, Prof.
Very scared.